Hello, hello, hello. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. How is everybody today? Today we're going to talk about an American living in the Philippines, and we're going to. This is a long one, so stay tuned, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this. It's an American. His wife, his name is Paul, and her name is Kiki, Keke. So I call it Kiki or Kai Kai or something. I arrived in the Philippines in late July 2016. I flew in on EVA Airlines. I did not have a problem flying in from USA because at the time it was the news of the bullets scare, and the TSA agents was going through your luggage and sometimes taking things. My wife is Kiki, and she's from Angela City. She's 32 and I'm 62 years old. My eyes were open when I got here. So many girls at the gate waiting outside for their man to arrive. I found my fiance and she was so happy to see me. I was nervous and my problems that I was a little nervous and I was shaky and sweaty palms. I left my bag sitting there and ran to her, not realizing I left my bag sitting there. We held each other so close. We left the airport and realized I'd forgot my bag. I was so excited. They turned around and went back, and his bag was gone. That is flag number one. We left the airport, and even though I lost all of my things that I had in my luggage, it was very frustrating and upsetting to me because there's quite a few things in there for her, including some diamond rings. We left the airport and decided to go get something to eat because I was really stressed and catch up on everything that we were talking about. We actually left this particular place. We did not like it because it was really smelly and stinky. We arrived at the mall, so I was very nervous, as I said, meeting Kiki, and I had a meal, and we left. We decided to live in Angela City, and so we went back to her house. It was a small nipa hut. And the next few days, we went and found an apartment that we could both live in. It was comfortable for us to live in. It was a house. It's a two-bedroom house with a bath in a small gated community. And he paid $400 a month, which was great. After a while, we moved in, and about 5 months went down the road, and everything was fine. We moved in, everything was going well. Of course, I met all her family. We had many uh, uh, birthday parties and things like that. But something really was starting to bother me. We would shop together and do things, but Kiki seemed to be always on her phone. I never could figure out why she always had her phone with her, was always talking as we're walking. And he said, "Is that important that you do that?" After realizing I asked her, "Can you leave your phone at home? Can you leave your phone off? What is so important? Is your family okay? Is someone sick?" And she said, "Yes, someone is sick." So after a while, he let it go. And then immediately, he noticed after a week or so, she's back on the phone all the time. Now, the city kept asking about the sickness. What is wrong? Who is sick? And it was someone that had high blood, and come to find out, ended up going into the doctor. She had diabetes. So she was dealing with that. Then she was back on the phone again. It was very frustrating to him. He says, I've been around that much. You can hear the turkeys. So it was very frustrating for me. And I finally said, "Okay, let me know. Why are you on one-to-one one night?" He said, "Why are you always on Facebook? You're on more than me. Do you have a man? Or do you have someone? Why are you always on the phone?" She got angry, said, "No, no, I don't. Why would you ask me that? Quit asking me that. I'm on the phone because I like talking to my friends." Then she flipped around and said, "I am on my phone because I have many friends." And he said, "I should be more important than your friends, and you're not talking to me but always on the phone." He said, Okay, who is that you're talking to now? This is my girlfriend. Just blurted it out, he said. I asked, girlfriend? What kind of girlfriend? Then she started backtracking. Well, I call her my girlfriend, was my friend. So later that night, she did not have, she had, he said that she had, I'll just kind of get past all the other stuff. She had uh, a pin to get into her phone. But what happened, she left something playing on her phone as she went to the bathroom. And of course, being he does not know any Visaya or anything about it, he could kind of figure out love, love, I love you, and he kind of figured it out in English, you know. Mahal Kita. I mean, a lot of those words that he said, I knew a lot of that. But I really decided that, he says, I really decided that I just lost her. She's gone. How long had she been doing this? Was she doing this all along? So he asked her, this has been going on how long? So apparently she has a girlfriend, and she left that night back to her girlfriend. Now he just rented an apartment, paying $400 a month, and paid a few months up, and he's distraught. He did not say, and that's one thing I meant to ask him. How long were you guys dating? It really doesn't matter. It just matters at the moment. Oh yeah, it does. Hold on. Yeah. After 3 years, I decided. After losing 3 years, I decided she is gone. Presently, I left the Philippines and I arrived in Mexico. Now, this email that I got here is a couple of months old. So he arrived in Mexico. I get so many. This one was so long that it took up pages and pages and pages. It goes in detail a lot more than I'm telling here. These are just what I printed out. So 3 years, okay, she is gone. Recently, I left the Philippines, just cut the cord with the Philippines, and arrived in Mexico. He's living in Mexico, and he found a nice lady there, and her name is Joy. And he said, I want to thank you for all that you do and your support, and basically, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for always listening and things like that. So he met a lady, he left the Philippines and met a lady in Mexico. So he's going to marry Joy. We often sometimes don't really realize things like that can happen. Whether you're there in Puerto Rico or you're in Mexico or wherever you're at, things like that are going to happen no matter what. The thing that really happens sometimes is a long distance relationship, and you're in that relationship a long time. Sometimes there's questions that he may should have asked there that he did not ask. Is immediately when he arrived, if she's on the phone all the time, automatically it says she's not with him. Automatically, there's many red flags into that. And I told him that. He said, I know that now. He said she needs to put down her phone. And there's a lot of times I'd be passed out asleep and she's on their phone in her bathroom. So I got to go to the bathroom, grab her phone, go in the bathroom, and be in there an hour. And so that was a sign. He said that was a sign. And he said, I figured she had a boyfriend, but come to find out she had a girlfriend. And recently, this story does go on as it goes into the next chapter. This girl reached out to him. And she says his eyes were opened again that she was bad. She recently left her girlfriend and wanted to get back with him. Now, he didn't change his number or anything about it, and WhatsApp and things like that. So she was contacting him there. And he said, don't contact me anymore. I'm going to block you now. I did not hear anything from you. I didn't think to block you. I figured you just cut the cord with me. But I'm cut the cord with me now. Don't call me or contact me anymore. I found a lady. I'm in Mexico. I'm happy. And he sent a picture back with her and him in a picture of going somewhere. And like I said, he is 62 years old, and he found a lady that's 42 years old, a beautiful Mexican lady, and that happens a lot. And so he's happy, and he's contented. And he said it was the best thing I ever did was just cut the cord with it. He said he wanted to stay here in the Philippines, but he kept thinking of Kiki all the time, and he got to the point where I just need to get away from that, and I don't need to have that on my mind all the time. And I understand that. So we'll all understand that. The thing of it is, more than anything else, he said there were so many red flags. I didn't ask the right questions. When I arrived in Mexico, he said, you gave me a list of questions. I need to get my list out and do a video on it. Here's the questions. And the questions are, and I got part of these questions from a friend of mine, Phillies to Phoenix, John. Some of these questions are you religious? What is your attitude on this? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And it's just questions that you would never think of asking someone. And a lot of these questions there's quite a few questions. And he did that to this girl. And she did it to him. So what he would do is, she started out, let me ask you. He says, you start out asking me. Ask me the questions. And then let her do it. Because he wanted to have her feel comfortable. Because you ask me 10 of those questions, and I'll answer them. And then I get to ask you the 10. So they did that in a relationship. He said it's just so much better. It's just so much better. But I will do a video on that. And it's one of the things that I just haven't done because it's really intense. And it'll take me a few hours to get all that information together and put it all together in form, because I have questions here and I got questions over here. So shout out to Paul, and Miss Kiki lost a good man. I had this happen to me one time. Am I crazy? Dozen times. I used to have a company, and I would hire people, and we would do fire alarm and card access control, and I owned the company. We would fly to Puerto Rico and do like a Holiday Inn and do the fire alarm and the card access and things like that, and we would fly to Bahamas and do jobs there. I lost many employees because of that happening. And what that means is they're married here. There's always the married guys. So I got to where I send the single guys only. If you're married, you're not going anywhere. The married guys end up leaving because they'd find someone else who's beautiful, more attractive, 10 years younger, and things like that. So it just happens. No matter where you're at, it's going to happen. If you're not stable in your relationship, and you have to ask the right questions. The questions need to be asked. Are you religious? What is your beliefs in this? Do you have, and then ask questions like this. Facebook, how many friends you have? How long has it been since your last boyfriend or girlfriend? He just said, I never thought that she liked girls. He said, you could never tell that she liked girls, but apparently she did. But apparently they broke up. So things going to happen like that all the time. Thank you so much. How many minutes? 13. Hey, under 14 minutes. I'm cool today. High five to Tom. God bless everybody. Thank you so much for always watching my videos. So Kiki and Paul, American, living in Mexico now, was living in the Philippines, and my relation in the Philippines went sour. So, God bless.